Hi guys, welcome to Memos Tutorials. Today we are looking at differences between natural selection and artificial selection, right? So when we're talking of artificial selection, we are just talking of human interference, For example, let's say I'm owning a farm and I want to produce a lot of milk. I can introduce genetically modified drugs so that my cows, and put in my cows food, and at the end of the day they will produce a lot of milk. Or I'm growing rice, I can actually look for a drought resistant type of rice and cross pollinate with it, or play around with its genetic makeup and apply it to my rice that I'm trying to grow in a desert, right? So that it can be drought resistant. So artificial selection, there's a lot, there's 100% human interference, right? And when we talk of natural selection, it's occurring on its own without human interference. And now we need to have a look to say, what is the difference between natural selection and artificial selection, right? So at first we are saying on natural selection, the environment or nature itself is the selective force. I'm sure you can remember the cacti that we looked at before. To say a cacti that had shorter roots, and remember it's a desert plant, the one that had shorter roots did not survive to the next, did not survive to produce to give its offsprings because it was not competitive enough. It died. But the ones with longer roots, they actually survived and were able to pass on their offspring. So that's what we mean by natural selection. It's just the effect of the environment or nature itself without any human interference, right? But then in artificial selection, humans are present and we represent the selective force ourselves, right? If it was in Zimbabwe, I would breed my hard Mashona type. We have a cow that we call hard Mashona type. It doesn't grow that tall, but then it's drought resistant. It can survive in drought conditions, in hard times. I can breed it with my very good breed. So at the end of the day, I'll have a mixture of the hard Mashona type and that good breed. I will end up having a very big, nice cow that is resistant to drought and diseases, right? Because a hard Mashona type, it's very resistant to drought and diseases, right? So at the end of the day, I will produce a good quality of beef. That's what we refer to as artificial selection. There's human interference there. And then selection, in natural selection is in response to sustainability to the environment. It's in response to say, is this environment being able to sustain you? If it cannot sustain you, then it means you can die. Only those that can be sustained by the environment are the ones that can survive, right? But then on artificial selection is in response to satisfying human needs. It's not about the plants themselves. It's not about nature itself. It's now about satisfying the human being. I myself am in snow. I want to grow potatoes. And we know potatoes, they don't need too much water. What am I going to do? I will just take the genes of a fish and inject them in my potato. Then I grow my potatoes. They are carrying the fish genes, meaning they can survive in cold conditions because the fish can actually survive in cold conditions. Why am I doing this? To satisfy me, right? As a human being. That's what makes artificial selection, right? So, natural selection occurs within a species, right? It occurs within species. But as for artificial selection, it involves one or more species. It's like it's a crossbreeding thing. Like I said, I'm growing my potatoes, but then now I'm introducing a fish gene. Why? So it's not within one species. It's between a lot of species, right? Only to satisfy the human needs. Okay. That's all on artificial selection and natural selection. Our next topic, we are just going to look at punctuated equilibrium.